All right, we're back for another Pretentious Plays. I am the Scrivener, joined by JDerm,
Hi,
and here we're going to get our Gaijin on.
we are.
Yeah, we're both. How would you describe your experience with the competitive fighting game scene?
Um, Competitive, not very experienced. I used to play a lot of fighting games though.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess I was self-competitive.
I'm going to set this to beginner so we actually get off the ground here because I fighting games when I was a kid essentially consisted of going to the arcade and my brother and I being about even. And then I stopped playing fighting games, and all these years later, this Arc System stuff's going on with Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear and Tekken and the new Street Fighter, and people are into this, and they have notation, and I don't know any of it.
Yeah.
But because I'm such a big fan of the Persona series, I picked this game up.
Yeah.
So I thought we could take this opportunity. We've sounded so pretentious and genius in our other playthroughs that I thought it would be fun to play a game that we very blatantly knew nothing about.
Right.
So here we are playing a fighting game.
I was big into fighting games as a kid. I never really played them with people though. I beat every Street Fighter. I beat every Mortal Kombat.
They were a big deal.
They were.
When arcades were still a
thing. It was
thing.
the '90s.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing, is I always had the console versions. Because when I played them in the arcade, I'd get my ass whooped because the AI was too hard.
Yeah.
But when I was playing at home, I could set the AI to whatever I wanted, and I was that kind of person. But then when I got older and found out like there was this whole culture around fighting games and like, chip damage and all this stuff, I was just like, my mind was blown that people were so into a type of game that I really just took for granted, I guess.
This is based on the mostly on Persona 4, though it has a few Persona 3 inclusions in the character roster. Essentially, Persona is a very narrative-driven game. It's like a JRPG dungeon crawler with lots and lots of story elements and lots of dialogue. Fighting games and lots of dialogue do not mesh well.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
that did not stop the Persona series in this game from trying to. They tried to preserve the story element with the boatloads of dialogue in with the fighting, and it did not work at all.
No.
It did not work. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this here. We're doing this Chie. I've chosen Chie from Persona 4 as my character. Yeah, it tries to give everybody a story. It's like most fighting game stories, it's convoluted, doesn't make a ton of sense, but also it has the added anchor of way too damn much dialogue.
Right.
So I thought, hey, let's do this for Pretentious Plays so we can just bask in holy shit, they're trying way too hard to mesh two different genres that do not go together at all. Like, you are going to be amazed at how much dialogue this has. Yeah, it's going to be, it's really something. I was astonished because I'm a big fan of the Persona series. I love, especially Persona 3 FES and Persona 4. Both very, very good games at a time where JRPGs are somewhat floundering. And so I was actually excited and engaged to do this. And I found myself beside myself with boredom on how much fucking dialogue they threw at me.
Wow.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, my experience with the SMT series and the Persona series in general, or I guess vice versa, but it's just Persona 3.
Yeah.
The first couple hours of it.
Yep.
I like it.
It's good. It's great. I love Persona 3.
I haven't delved too deep into it.
I'm sure we're going to do it at some point on this little series, but yeah, this is something. It gives you the little sum up from Persona 4 if you missed it, but we're skipping through most of it. Yeah, like, I look up at the sky, the light gray clouds are a bit. Who gives a shit? Like, why are we doing this? Like,
it's really strange for a fighting game.
I don't think that these bits of dialogue would even work in a normal Persona game.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is. Oh man.
I just wonder if it was like to try to reconcile the two fan bases. Like,
it very well could be, but I think
RPG.
it's not serving either.
Yeah, they're trying to get RPG fans to play a fighting game, I guess.
But yeah, like it's trying to catch you up. Like in the last little line here, in the last stanza, if you will, I come out of the Samigawa floodplain that flows through the center of town. You need to know a little bit, I would guess, about Persona 4. You don't need to know about the floodplain.
Right,
like, stop it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And this game, or this year, has been pretty slow on releases for me. New console generation, I don't yet have a new one. I don't have a PS4 yet, so there's not a lot for me to look forward to. There is a shameless, like, ultra version of this game coming out. I think it's probably the second or third version of this game.
Wow.
Um, and sadly, I'm probably going to buy it. It's basically expands the rosters to have more Persona 3 characters, which is cool, and I love that game. But I may actually fork out the full retail for that game because there are so few games that came out. And it pains me because I hate that. That's one of the modern game industry's issues is choking the life out of your wallet for every cent they can get. Like, they're essentially re-releasing a year-and-a-half, 2-year-old game.
Right.
But I'm probably going to buy it because fuck me. Like, whatever. Nothing else come out this year.
It's true. It is. This year has been pretty vacant.
We got Dragon Age Inquisition coming, but before that, I guess I'll buy this stupid game.
Yeah,
I want to play as Junpei. I want to battle with Junpei.
Why not? He's good.
Junpei-san. Yeah, you do know who he is.
Yeah.
She's still talking.
Yeah, it's pretty.
This is a fighting game.
Yeah, in Mortal Kombat, you'd be halfway through the tower by now.
You'd be inserting quarters all over the place.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, I've been wanting a PS4 too, but like, it just seems like a modern convention. I mean, I guess it's always kind of been a convention, but like, the first year or so for a console was always a little awkward.
Sure, and that's fun. That's to be expected.
You have like the 2 killer apps. You have a bunch of ports that are also on PS3 or the previous generation.
Yeah.
And then like some like purely gimmick-based games.
Yeah.
So you have like the 1 or 2 games they push really hard. Like, to use Xbox One as an example, you have like Titanfall as like the A title. You had a bunch of ports, and then you had, you know, Rise Son of Rome to show off how it could run the CryEngine, stuff like that.
Yeah. And nobody cares. Like, that's something they still haven't
yeah.
figured out. Nobody gives 2 shits.
And like PS3, for instance, like the first, like I did not give a shit at all for the first year or so. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 4 was the first thing that really piqued my interest in the PS3 because before that, I mean, like, you had Ridge Racer.
We don't need to know this.
Yeah,
not you.
Yeah,
please talk.
Yeah. Like, you had Ridge Racer, you had that fucking Lair, the dragon game.
Yeah.
That you control with the 6-axis.
That's good stuff.
A lot of stuff that was just like, you know, pay $600 for this, you know, motion-controlled dragon game. And that's why I got a 360.
Yep.
Which, you know, honestly, I would argue that the PS3 wasn't really a viable console until about 3 years into its lifespan. When the price finally went down, the PSN got, you know, working right. 360 started to fail unanimously. Buying a PS3 is the best thing I ever did.
It's good. I've never been like, I am a flip-flopper. I don't really understand customer loyalty to a fault. Like,
Yeah.
I will be happy to buy whatever, from whatever company in the game industry is screwing me over least. So
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Like, I definitely had a PS2 before I had an Xbox. And then I got a 360 instead of a PS3 simply because it was out first. It was cheaper. And
and those are all fair.
It had
Like,
more solidified titles.
Yeah, that's fine. I got real late. I got my PS3 in like 2010.
Yes,
Like, I was way late.
I got mine last year.
Woo! You got an X3. You weren't late. You were late to PS3, not late to the new gen.
Oh, yeah.
You got
I had 360 since like 2006. But
she is still running her mouth.
yeah, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, I knew you'd love this.
Yeah,
I knew you'd love
this
this.
is ridiculous.
Hey, go get her off the shelf there. You see her?
Yeah.
We got to show this off. To put into perspective that this is not, I'm not a fish out of water here kind of thing. This is how fond I am of the Persona series. My friend Dave got me this. This is my character. This is Chie. This is a figurine, and I absolutely adore it. It stays on my shelf. And this is ridiculous. Yeah, like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, story mode, not, you know, like, he doesn't need to catch you up on everything, because frankly, there isn't a lot you need to know, even for the Persona 4 Arena aspect of this game. This is literally just telling you what you missed. And I would argue that one of the points of this game as a crossover is to interest people in the original. Yeah. And I don't know why they would be interested based on this, because A, it's poorly presented, and B, you've told them everything.
Right, yeah.
There's nothing to discover. But it is a good game.
I do like that it says the Route 66 sign is spelled R-O-O-T.
Ah, Route 60, yeah. Cleverly done.
It almost looks like it's a square root. I think it does, yeah.
Square, oh, look at you. Good eye. I was so bored I couldn't even bring myself to look for Easter eggs.
I just like in Japanese games when like you'll see like English words.
Yeah.
Obviously aren't the right word. Feel like they're just trying to pacify.
We're 10 minutes into this.
It's unbelievable. There's a game to this, we promise. Like
I don't know.
maybe not.
I'm
I don't know. I've never
confused.
played the story mode.
So I guess we'll extract what we can beyond just like belittling. I like the. You see the what does it say on the if Yosuke will move his stupid head, we'll see. I think there's a Bruce Lee joke.
Oh, Blue 3.
Yeah, Blue. Yeah, it's isn't that clever?
Yeah, it's clever.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. This is the first, because you haven't played Persona 4, but you are familiar with Persona 3 and social link mechanics.
Right.
Yeah. How attracted are you to Chie's character? Pretend you're a young man going to Chie's secondary school. Because it's not really creepy, because that's what you are doing in these games. Like, this isn't an objectification. This is an actual... How do you feel about Chie in the immediate?
I mean, she's okay. I wouldn't say waifu material. I don't really squee for the chibis like some guys do. Or whatever the terminology is. I don't need enough Pocky to know.
Don't be proud.
Yeah. But she's all right.
You're amongst friends.
She likes Bruce Lee. She likes Blue 3.
She's a bit of a tomboy.
She is.
I don't think she has like an analog for P3. She's much more masculine than a lot of P3. Chie is one of the characters you're introduced to in Persona 4 very early on, and thus it feels like there's a lot more to choose from. But Chie grew on me. Chie became my P4 waifu.
Yeah, she's alright.
Yeah.
Let me steak.
She loves steak.
Steak.
She can't stop herself from throwing down. See, this is her friend, who is much more feminine. And I feel like most of the my friend Dave, who got me this Chie statuette figure here, also owns this is Yukiko. That means snow child, literally. Little weeaboo there for you.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what little I know.
Anyway, in the snow.
Yeah.
That's a Rivers Cuomo joke. You know?
That is a really obscure. I get it because I was all about them in high school, early college. But anyway. But yeah, Chie grew on me. I was okay. I spent Christmas... I don't think Persona 3 has like a Christmas Day sort of date at the end of the game. But I elected to take Chie's call, making her my main waifu among many. And
I noticed one thing with Persona 3, the schedule is fucking weird. They go to school like during the summer.
Yes, and on Saturdays.
That's when it like starts.
That is a Japanese thing.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
I'm not going to pretend that I know. I'm in that scary bit where, like, that limbo where I know just enough about Japan just from my friend Dave majored in Japanese in school, and through Magic the Gathering, I've had a lot of business interactions with Japanese individuals. But I know little enough to where I'm scared I could say the wrong thing and I just look like that guy. Yeah. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
What I want to be is the guy who just casually enjoys Persona games and Atlas games, and who has something to talk about while Chie runs her trap for literally 25 minutes.
It's really hard in this day and age to be like to reconcile the two.
It is.
Like, it's hard to be like interested in Japanese culture and not come across
not be that guy.
Like, mouth breathing weeaboo. Like, I mean, it's just. Like, I remember back. I keep saying back in the day, like I'm fucking 50 years old. But like, I seem to remember like anime and just Japanese culture in general used to be this like kind of underground thing in the 90s. And then it kind of just got so.
We're getting biographies, by the way, on literally the whole cast of Persona 4.
Yeah, that's good.
Christ.
And
then you got this. That's the. If you need a little extra Japanese in your Persona 4, this is the character they drop in for you. He's really full of strange people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. I feel like they could have cut. I mean, I understand it's probably like a direct port. I feel like a lot of the falling out with JRPGs in America is how unbelievably verbose they have become. Like, they've come into the tell not show aspect of gaming, which is never good, and especially not good to American audiences. So,
but you think like the most successful ones in America weren't that way. Like Final Fantasy VII was very like much the opposite.
It was very 50-50. Like except for the like Calm flashback, which is 20 minutes out of a 50-hour game, you really don't just get buried in dialogue. The first
Right.
cutscene is the perfect length. It's like
Yeah.
2 minutes long, and then you're on with it.
Well, it's like the part where you basically play through Cloud's mind when he has amnesia.
Yeah.
Like you rediscover the different
Sure.
parts of his memory. Like that is really clever to me.
So
That
here,
very easily could be a really big cinematic.
this is where we're getting the shoehorned in actual story of the game, which I'm not going to go into because it's a fighting game and it's outlandishly stupid even for a shoehorned in fighting game. Where the one thing that I do like about this game, though, is that it's extremely over the top in presentation, and I love that a lot. It appeals to the Tarantino fan in me. You know, and you've got these like old good Guy Ritchie movie title presentations where everybody's got 2 or 3 absurd over the top like nicknames and things, and I really like that about the game. I'm a big over the top guy. If you're going to go over the top, you need to go way over the top with your presentation, and this game does that, which makes me happy.
This is super unprofessional, but I gotta make a call really fast.
You just get off the screen. Just go away.
Oh, yeah.
You got to make a call. You just got to go. You just don't do it on camera.
Well, yeah, I know. It's super unprofessional to disappear.
I mean, I don't know how professional this is. It's a shame you couldn't make the call during the 40 minutes of exposition. So now I get to show off my fighting game skills. Maybe. We may just be sitting through dialogue for another 20 minutes. Yeah, I think we are. Maybe I can get my dog to sit in for Jonathan. We'll see. Come here. Come here. I'm the Scrivener on Pretentious Plays, joined by Milton the dog. Come on. So we can get him on camera. Come here. Up. Up. There he comes. There he goes. Come on. We get him. We get him. There he is. This is my new co-host, Milton. Milton, how do you feel about Japanese culture and whatever the hell? JDerm's returning. I had Milton fill in for you.
Was he charismatic?
He doesn't seem to know a lot about Japanese culture,
That's all right.
even compared to us. We introduced the initial plot element as to why this game even exists.
That was right. I missed that.
Outside of marketing. You really didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Persona 4 story is basically a Scooby-Doo caper. A bizarre sort of Japaboo whodunit.
Right.
Where people around town are being murdered by being sucked into a television. And it's up to you and your squad of homecoming queens and awkward Screech Powers dork-alikes to go in and figure out the mystery with lots of Japanese things happening along the way.
Gotcha.
So anyway, for some reason, the television channel that triggered all this is reappearing with alternate versions of ourselves that are going to do battle and combat for no good damn reason.
This is like baffling.
It's astounding, isn't it?
I mean, I just saw the controls like at the below or the control the cutscenes and like auto read and quick skip. Like it's a lot of controls even for a cutscene. Like,
Yeah.
It's like they know
Yeah.
that you don't want to be doing this.
And the thing of it is it doesn't matter. Like they have so misevaluated their audience.
Yeah,
Like
this is like a visual novel, or whatever you call it.
it's a manga.
A manga, yeah, exactly.
It's an actual manga.
I was going from left to right, so.
Now I'm gonna let on. I wasn't going to do this, but because this is the only one I did finish, I think I can actually skip a lot of this.
Okay.
Maybe I can. I feel like there's a button I can skip with. Would you like to skip to the next path selection? Yes. But it only lets you skip previously read ones. So, like, if you
Wow.
haven't done this, it's going to punish the hell out of you.
Wow, this is.
This is how long it would go on. We're at 20 minutes.
I've heard of speed reading. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, like. That's really like they.
I would rather just watch Persona 4 the anime.
I mean, this is
which
like,
is perfectly
this is like
watchable.
Kojima levels of like shoving shit down your
Yes,
throat.
yes.
Like the idea that you can't skip unless
Yeah.
you've already seen it is ridiculous.
Now it does have an arcade mode. Like you don't have to do this.
Oh,
like this
okay,
is story
well,
mode.
Yeah,
But it's like at the same time, like I can't believe that there's no reconciliation between those two things.
Yeah.
If I want to know, I didn't. The thing of it is I didn't realize that I didn't give a damn about this game, even for a fighting game story, until I saw how bad this was. But then by then I was already too deep, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'll just play through the damn thing. But I think it's just, if we're being pretentious, I don't think you need to be pretentious to understand that this is a really crappy presentation.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you don't need that.
We can say, though, it is a good game. Like, we're not speaking about the game.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
Because it does sound like we've been shitting on it for a while.
No.
But, like, yeah, it's a good game.
I mean, I don't know jack all about fighting games, but
Right.
as somebody who enjoys Persona,
Yeah.
like, I still like
And I like
this
fighting.
game.
I like fighting games because this is one of those fighting games that reconciles the like technicality with just
Beginnerism?
pick up and play ability.
The auto
like,
combo in this is a very big deal. I was able to play this game. Dave, I'm going to just shout out to Dave 1,000 times. I don't know how to not do it. He bought me this statue. Place a bookmark. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
No, who cares? Just go. Just go. Yeah. He majored in Japanese culture. He played through Persona 3 and 4, and he played fighting games competitively. Like, I really don't know how to not mention him 50 times.
Yeah,
But-
like a good guy.
The point, he's always a good man. The point being that I was able to play this game with him
Mm-hmm.
without, like, he was better than me, but I still won now and again.
Yeah.
So actual fighting is taking place. I skipped, yeah, it's literally like 35, like, we're only 20 minutes in, but I skipped all that dialogue. So it's like 35 minutes, literally 35, 40 minutes before you actually get to fight.
That's pretty crazy.
So I'm pretty unprepared for this, so
You know what I will say?
I think I
about-
chose beginner, though, so I should be able to.
I mean, story modes in fighting games seem like, I mean, it's a good idea because, like, not everybody plays fighting games competitively with other people. Like, when I was a kid, I wish we had story modes in fighting games instead of, like, just, working your way up the tower. But I will say, Mortal Kombat 9, or Mortal Kombat, whatever you want to call it, the newest one.
Yeah.
Its story mode so effectively in a fighting game setting that it made me want to buy that game.
It's scary to me that that's as good as it gets, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
the
mean, I
story
think that
mode,
is,
like, a lot of the story mode in that game, like, essentially, like, everything Raiden had seen thus far was, like, a prophecy, and then it proceeded.
It was basically like a retelling of the first three games.
Yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah, but like I mean, it had like a good length to it. It wasn't like verbose and overly explanatory, but like it weaved everything together so well that like it made it feel like a genuinely single player experience, not just like I'm gonna fight the AI for 10 people and then fight the boss.
Yeah.
And work up to like a shitty ending.
Which, I mean, that's enough in fighting games.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't
Free
need
Fighter
to.
still operates off of that.
This is just a manga stitched to a fighting game.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But, versus mode's fun, playing online's fine,
Yeah.
the fighting game itself is good.
Yeah.
But I'm putting this on display just as a demonstration of how hilariously bad. I don't know how you correctly reconcile fighting games with story elements, but here's a good way to not do it.
Yeah. Did you know that Tekken 2, the movie, just came out
The
recently?
movie,
Yeah.
I know nothing.
They made I didn't know they made a Tekken 1 the movie, but they did about a couple years ago. It was like a direct-to-DVD, like, shit show, basically. There was a guy dressed like Heihachi, though. I mean, like,
Did he have the hair?
he had the hair.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think he had the hair.
When I'm an old bald guy, that's the hair I want.
Let me check and see. Oh, yeah, because the second one came out, and I remember being like, I saw it in the red box, and I was just like, baffled that they made a.
It's weird to hear you here is the silent protagonist of the fourth of Persona 4, and in this game he has to talk, and it's sort of weird.
That is strange.
Like, it wouldn't be strange if it was. He just doesn't have a voice to me. Like, all the other ones, I think, have more or less the same voice they had in the fourth one. Probably the same actor or actress, as the case may be.
Okay, yeah. Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa plays Heihachi, who played Shang Tsung in the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Ah,
Fact.
so in 20 years he's gone nowhere.
Pretty
he's
much,
literally
yeah.
doing the same thing he did 20 years.
Pretty much, yeah.
How many of the original cast of the first Mortal Kombat movie can you name from memory?
A lot. Here we go. Robin Shu,
Robin Shu,
Liu Kang.
Lyndon Ashby.
Lyndon Ashby.
I know Lyndon Ashby.
I'll tell you why I know Lyndon Ashby, because I've always wanted to see that guy.
Pretentious plays.
I feel like
Biography
yeah,
of Lyndon
I
Ashby.
feel like he is one of the most underrated actors of the 1990s.
You need to stop speaking.
He pulled it off so well.
You need to go make another phone call.
He is in Teen Wolf.
Underrated actors of the that's who you go to? Lyndon Ashby.
I mean, not the most underrated, but I mean, he's up there. He played Johnny Cage perfectly.
He's probably not a top 5,000.
Yeah. Maybe it could just be like by association, though. He seemed like.
I think because he had to act alongside Christopher Lambert for 2 hours,
That's true.
You think he's better than he is.
Christopher Lambert doing one of the weirdest accents I've ever heard in my life.
What is wrong with him? Like he
Like-
was weird in that movie.
He's French, doing like his Highlander Scottish accent mixed with like a weird American accent too.
It's scary that he got paid to be in that movie.
I know.
And he's like the most powerful character in the film. It's really disturbing.
And he plays Raiden in such a strange way too. Like he plays him like Connor McLeod from Highlander, but just like in this weird cocksure way.
There's that bear.
There's that bear. God, I love the first Mortal Kombat movie though. I will argue that is the most effective video game movie that they've made.
It's kind of like being the hottest old lady in the nursing home. As long as you're just not awful, you win the game. How do you feel about... You've only played some of P3 up until this point. How do you feel about the music in these games?
I like it a lot.
I do too. They have so much of a great mashup style.
Yeah.
Like there's hip-hop. Like I love the dorm song. Where you go back to the dorm and there's that hip-hop song. And lots of great like metal riffs and...
I like the jazzy parts of it too.
Yeah. It's got lots of piano-driven stuff. It's very diverse.
That like a soundtrack nowadays is like that, like memorable. They get stuck in your head instantly because like I feel like soundtracks, especially with RPGs, get really homogenized nowadays.
I agree. They reuse a lot these days,
which
is dumb because they have more memory and space and resources than they've ever had. Square Enix especially has just been dropping the ball, but
which is a shame.
We'll save that for
like Final Fantasy VII. You know exactly where the area is when you hear the song.
Yep.
It's like they're so linked.
Yes. And they did FF7 repeated only where it wanted to establish like an audio motif.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't repeat just for the sake of repeating. Like the ship, it's difficult to stand on two legs, the cargo ship section.
Yeah.
That song is so memorable. And that's the only place in the game it is because they didn't want to reuse it.
Right. And like One Winged Angel like is so poignant because you literally hear it like as one of the last songs.
Yep. It allowed itself to have climax in every way and not just pay a established corporate composer to make 5 or 6 tracks and reuse them 150 times.
Yeah. Also,
this tune's good too.
Silent Hill music, like that's another one that sticks in your head. Doesn't mean he should have directed the rest of the games, but that's also another story for another day.
I think I'm excited. I think I actually get to fight again. And in this mode too, it's apparently it's only 1 round no matter what you do. So like you don't even get the 2 out of 3. They wouldn't want you getting too much gameplay and all this garbage.
Right, yeah. God forbid.
All right, so we're gonna fight Yosuke. He's the Junpei of P4.
Oh, okay.
Dorcas.
You say Junpei, I say Yasuke. Yosuke.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is, for this one, just because I want to show off the over-the-topness, this game has a mechanic where you get the one-hit KOs. As long as it's in the deciding round of a match, you can do a one-hit KO. As long as it connects, you win. And there's a burst mechanic to break up combos, and if you burst offensively, it fills your meter so you can straight up just one-hit KO. So that's the burst, and let's see if he falls for my... Yeah, that's a one-hit KO. So that's one thing I like about this game. Again, is it's got a catch-up feature that allows if you suck at fighting games, you still have a chance and you just catch them off guard. A couple times I've played this game online, been totally dead in the water to a very skilled player, and just one-hit KO'd them.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to take a loss, so they, like scumbags, be better than this fighting game community.
Yeah.
They would disconnect before my one-hit KO finished its animations and such.
Move.
Yep, that is a dick move.
Yeah.
You get fair and square, buddy. You don't like it? Go bowling or something.
Yeah, seriously.
I beat you legit.
Yeah.
Legit.
I like the art style of this game, like during combat too. It reminds me of the old SNK game.
Oh yeah.
Like in the animation style.
Yeah, I think these are all like descendant. I don't know. Like I'm not going to pretend to know. Again, we're not in the fighting game community, but you know, Blaze Blue and all that. I don't know how much overlap there is between the like companies that got bought and developed this game and did this game, but I know those old SNK games have all. I'm sure have a lot of
it's like
crossover.
Sprite-based type.
Yeah. 2D.
Like Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, Fatal Fury, Samurai Showdown.
Samurai Showdown was the one I was.
That was a big Pizza Hut game for me.
Yes,
that was
Neo Geo. They had
yeah.
like the 4-in-1 arcade machines that were just shit, and they really didn't appear anywhere else. They were in Pizza Huts here in the States. They weren't like you didn't see them in arcades much.
I would love a Neo Geo.
I would love a pizza. You want to get a pizza later?
I think get pizza. Okay.
Because I'm starving. By the way, we got to give. Speaking of fighters, we got to give props. You were at the dentist for 4 hours yesterday.
4 hours.
And you are the kids demand. We have our 30 viewers or whatever that watch these stupid things. Like you wouldn't let them down, so you showed up to do this.
Powering through the pain.
What a fighter!
Yeah.
The dentist one hit KO'd you.
He pretty much
and
did,
you
yeah.
showed up.
I wish he had KO'd me because I had to sit there and deal with the whole thing. I'd forgotten how agonizing, like, the one thing they can't fix, like, I got 2 fillings, and this is after being there for 3 hours already.
Sure.
And, like, they can numb you all they want to, but they can't, like, remove the noise.
Yeah.
And that's, like, so much more unnerving to me almost. Like, obviously it would be, like, super painful, but, like, even if you're completely numb, the fact that you hear this, like, drill whirring against your mouth.
Yeah.
And therefore it's, like, echoing throughout your whole head.
Yeah.
It's really
You're a trooper.
unpleasant.
You're a
yeah,
trooper.
It is.
I'm very impressed with you.
Well, thanks. All for the PP.
I don't know. We're still new to, obviously I have a very, very minor internet claim to fame through Magic or whatever, but like, I'm a D-list trading card game celebrity.
Right.
But I really don't know still like where the line is between mentioning people's names. Like I would never mention like my friend's first and last, whatever.
Yeah.
But my last dentist I had in the last place I lived had he was a doctor and he had the same first and last name. And
That's awesome.
I don't remember, I'm not making that up. I don't mean that one was a variation on the other. I mean, he had a first name and he spelled his last name with the same damn letters. Like he had the same.
It wasn't like a Bob Roberts situation.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't, like that. It wasn't Richard Dick. It was literally the same name twice. So I'm not going to mention his name. I guess it's a free plug, but at the same time, I don't know. But,
that's really funny.
I'm coming out with it. He was James.
That's really strange.
He was Dr. James.
That's awesome.
When he introduced himself, he said J. James, but it was too late. Like the sign outside said James DDS.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a plug. That's some free business. He was fantastic. He did a great job on all the work I had done. But I'm sorry I can't get past the fact that his name is James.
That's pretty shocking.
I had a tooth break off at work eating some candy.
Ouch.
And I got a referral to him through someone else in the company. And then when I was telling somebody else in the company about my broken tooth, he goes, "Ooh, guess you got to go see James." Like, everybody knew him. He was like the company doctor.
You would with a name like that.
Yeah.
It's a claim to fame.
Yeah. That's probably part of his success.
I'll tell you, man, toothaches, they suck.
Yeah, teeth pain is bad news.
Like, I remember hearing a story a couple of years ago. It was like, it turned into one of those, like, right-wing kind of propagandized pieces about, like, universal health care. And about there was this guy, and he was trying to wait for health care because he had a toothache, and he ended up dying because he waited for so long. He ended up killing himself because of the pain. And everything, like, wow, it must be really bad to, like, kill yourself because of the pain. There had to be some other issues. But, like,
I don't even know what I'm choosing here. I'm gonna keep
always steak.
I think I jumped out in search of steak last time. So in the under the guise of actually getting a new trophy or I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking because I feel like I did the other one.
Right. But anyway,
bad cheating.
Like toothaches, man. I can totally see where he was coming from.
Yeah.
Like, not saying that I was wanting to kill myself because of it, but like I can imagine if it got bad enough. I mean, I had back surgery for God's sakes, and I still was like, man, this toothache is awful.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was kind of immunized.
You did. You were in the hospital for a while with back stuff.
I was, yeah.
You're the bionic man.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Like, I'm not afraid. I used to be terrified of shots when I was younger, but now I'm so over it. Like, I feel like I can go under the knife for 6 hours and then be hospitalized for a week and a half. One little shot.
But that dentist.
I'm telling you, though.
Can't take that.
It never.
All right, let's get to the next.
It never gets easier.
I think I got to fight my BFF here.
Never a situation.
Snow Child.
Yeah.
That's bad news. I look forward to you playing. Dave took a while too. Dave has some other things in his life going on now, so he doesn't play video games like he used to. But he did finally finish Persona 3 at my recommendation, and I hate that the fact that one of my friends finally did after much convincing, and now I just have to relive it because now I'm just gonna have to bug you until you finish them.
Yeah, like I really enjoy it. I have so many JRPGs lined up.
You are. JRPG crash course.
But that's definitely probably my number one on the list that I need to get through because I've made decent enough progress in it that I'm kind of past the initial curve of it. Just because I beat Final Fantasy VII so late, and that was such
you did. You were late to the party.
Experience that I wanted to play every JRPG that I never played growing up. So I just didn't have the attention span for it back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All my personas. I forgot my persona. If your persona gets hit, it can go away, which is kind of clever. All right, let's not kid around. We know where this is going. Yep, get in it. Or I'm just showboating off, but really...
You are in beginner mode, so...
Yeah, you can pretty much fall asleep at the wheel, which you will because of all this stupid drama.
Yeah.
I'm feeling myself attached to Chie and because of how hungry I am. She whines a lot about being hungry.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like a fitness freak in the game.
Mm.
She likes to work out. Oh, I like this tune.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you need to P4. You need to get that tune. P4 is good. I like P4. Play the Persona games if you have not out there.
Have you played any other SMT games?
I rented the PlayStation 1 Persona. It may have been the first one.
Yeah, 1 and 2 are on PS1. So.
It was difficult to
Really?
get into. I really liked SMT Nocturne.
Yeah.
For PS2. It was not an easy game, but I played probably 10, 15 hours and enjoyed it before. I don't know what became of the game. It was actually very difficult to find. My grandmother tracked it down for my birthday when I was like 18 or something.
Grandma.
Yeah, I mean, she basically just were like, hey, get this, and she went to it.
Yeah.
But that was a tough one. She lives in a remote area, and she, God knows, she doesn't have the internet.
She probably had to ask for it. It was probably really awkward.
Yeah. 68-year-old woman asking for a Japanese devil game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I actually have a second friend, Dave. Dave from Seattle area, who's a JRPG aficionado. I feel like he and Jerry Thompson, who I know through Matt, everybody knows who he is in the Magic, so I can use his first and last names all over the world. So he's also very into JRPGs. So I have a lot of JRPG friends who have really stuck with them and still enjoy them, even though that a lot of people who were heavily into them earlier, they still sort of dig the style and dig the games and enjoy the mechanics inherently enough to stay with them even through their recent changes and stuff. So those guys have all said that the digital Devil Saga games are great.
Yeah, that looks really good. No, isn't it digital or Devil Summoner?
Yeah,
they're all on PSN. They've been updated.
My biggest fear is I fear that P3, the Persona 3 and 4 games. I really like this tune. I'll let this one run for a minute.
All right.
I really feel like that, like with the social links and the mixed up gameplay between grinding and dungeon crawling and bosses and like social customization aspects, like the social, like that mix is so good that I fear I won't be able to really fully enjoy the games that were before them now.
Yeah,
because I remember Nocturne being almost like the fusing personas aspect existed in Nocturne, and I don't know if I could go back to a game that just does that and doesn't have the social link aspects.
Yeah,
because I really like that. Like I like being able to like hang out. You know, it's fun to pretend to be a 17-year-old kid with no parents.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I feel no shame in that.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't mind macking some tail in fictional Japan.
Right. Yeah. Who does?
And it's tasteful.
It's better than macking tail in real Japan.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah,
well. I feel like this is creepy, Chie.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Also, we missed a Holy Moly.
Did we?
Yeah.
We had a Holy Moly on there? Always
Moly.
Good translations. And then we introducing more characters here. I feel like the Persona games, they managed to do it in a way that links enough to the mechanical aspects of the game.
Right.
That it really does, even as a 30-year-old man, I don't feel creepy in playing Persona games.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like they're fun and lighthearted, and I don't feel like there's a whole lot of like P3 has a couple scenes that are a little, but like, I don't feel like creepy old guy playing Persona.
Well, yeah, and like even beyond that, like I'm just not into. I used to be a big anime and manga guy. Like I still am.
I think we missed. I actually have to fight this legitimately.
I'm not like a big anime manga fan anymore. Like I still like your Gundams, and I've been actually reading Berserk lately.
Sure,
it's a great manga. But
I have a friend who's very into Berserk.
Oh, it's great.
Googs, shout out.
It's basically like Dark Souls and manga. I mean, a lot of the creature design in Dark Souls was inspired by that. But anyway, yeah. So I was really hesitant about P3 because I'm just not into like schoolyard, like school time anime. Like
the name escapes me. There's like an entire like manga has like tons of subgenres.
It's like shonen. Well, it's shonen like action, like teenage action. But yeah, like. But so when I played it and realized that it was kind of beyond that, I guess.
Yeah.
It was tactful, I guess. It wasn't like super like girls' panties showing their noses all start bleeding type stuff.
Yeah. I don't like when my wife walks into a room, although she hates the music of these games, which is so fucked up.
Yeah.
But they're not the kind of games where I get embarrassed for somebody else to be in the room. Like,
right.
It's just because there are games like that.
And also too, like it works so well as a game that you can kind of like overlook some of the.
It's really mechanically clever.
Yeah.
And I really like it a lot. See, I have no idea what's going on here. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I only recently got into anime a little bit, and even then, I'm very casual. I've watched maybe like 3 or 4 to completion. I can't really get into the hyper. Basically, any anime where like it's very hyper emotional, like where like it's very like goofy.
Yeah.
I can't really get into that. But like I really enjoyed like. I know I'm ancient history, and a lot of my friends, obviously, this is old news. But Cowboy Bebop was incredible.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Cowboy Bebop, and I saw Samurai Champloo first, which is I think I'm the only one on Earth, but
No, I remember that. I never watched all of it, but
I very much enjoyed it.
yeah, when I was a teenager, I was big into like it was around the time like DBZ was finishing and G Gundam was coming over here, and I was big into the Gundams, and I still appreciate those a lot. But like honestly, only a couple of the Gundams would I go back to, like the original one, Zeta Gundam, and then like I got into Evangelion really late. But I
haven't seen that. I hear
it's really good.
To check out. Apparently the story ended. I actually don't know what's happening.
No. So yeah, there you have it.
Yeah, I don't know what I accomplished. Maybe I chose the same thing I had chosen last time. I'm gonna choose her again and just zoom through the dialogue while we chat, and then try to pick the other option.
Yeah. So that's a good one.
Let's rewatch this. Let's do the same thing.
Okay. I liked One Piece a lot when I was a teenager. It doesn't really hold up now.
I don't really know what that is. I have a friend who swears by it. Anime is one of those things that like taste is almost everything. Like I feel like there's a lot of objective quality to a lot of it, but I don't think if it's your native language, it's easy to tell.
I mean, One Piece like it's basically the Dragon Ball Z of this generation, or well, I guess it was Naruto, but like
by the way, you know way more about anime than I thought you did. I thought you were just way off the beat.
I don't know. Like I used to love it back in the day. I have boxes of manga in my storage unit that I can sell.
Thank you.
But yeah, like One Piece is just like an adventure with like pirates, and they all have special abilities and stuff, and there's like a new baddie, and then like it'll have a whole arc, but like I mean I think it was like 150 episodes in Japan whenever I got into it, and this was like 13 years ago, and now it's still going on.
Yeah,
I mean it's like bafflingly long.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it anymore, but I did get into Ghost in the Shell.
I can't keep up with it. It's too deep for me.
It's pretty out there. The show is really good.
Let me ask you this. Here's the big question.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason I haven't watched an anime since, is because I refuse to believe I can find one of equal quality. I still like Bebop more, but the latest craze, obviously, in the anime world was last year's Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one?
I have only watched the first couple episodes.
Oh, it's something.
Is it?
Oh, it's a barn burner.
I liked it.
It's a barn burner.
I liked it. I haven't watched it though. I need to get on that.
All right, well, I'm gonna do this business.
I watched the first 2 episodes of Kill la Kill.
Okay.
It's I didn't think I would like it, but it's about like this teenage girl, and she comes to this town to like avenge her father's death with like, this magical sword. And it has a lot of like really stereotypical anime tropes, like the really annoying like "ooh girl" or whatever.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah,
that's
like,
where I lose it.
It's all done at like.
No offense, like.
Well, no, yeah, I don't either. And I asked who I was watching it with, but it's like satirizing it kind of.
Okay.
It's like really smart in the way that it does it, because it's doing it like partially as a homage and partially as like satire.
I'm not cultured enough to know the difference. Is my problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like, they'll have enemies that are very obviously like Fist of the North Star references, like these big muscly like 80s anime guys with mullets and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. I haven't watched too much of it because even as a satire, it's still very like loud and a little much for me. But
sure.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell's good. It is really hard to follow though.
I really can't tell. Like, I feel like their storytelling conventions and are just vastly different than ours.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I can't really tell if it's just because it's culture or because they're just that smart. I don't know, like, because I
get lost very easily.
Yeah, complexity in their media and in their stories. I feel like I can't tell the difference between if it's just something we're not exposed to often enough, or if they would just think our stories are stupid because they're really plain and boring. But at the same time, it's so conventional, like, in terms of not only are their stories complex, but like JRPGs, like what percentage of JRPGs don't have a bunch of teenagers killing some sort of deity?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it makes me want to say it's just like part of the culture of their literary conventions, but I don't know. I'm sure that if anybody watches this who's more well versed in that, they can fill us in, because I know about as much as I can know. See, okay, this is where we jumped out for steak. We took the second option.
In front of the Mayo Mart.
Yeah, and this is fighting a character, Akihiko, who is in Persona 3.
Yeah, I recognize him.
Mitsuru is in this one.
Okay.
As well as Igus. But yeah, Yukari and Junpei at least are in the updated one that I'm going to fork out for like a damn idiot. I guess I'll buy it used from like a local independent store just so I don't feel completely unproductive and sucker.
Yeah, this is Pretentious play after all.
That is, yes.
Yeah.
Go out, please shop local.
Yeah.
Warm up.
Right in the kisser.
Power right in the kisser. That's the Galactic Punt move, which is her ultimate attack in Persona 4, I think.
Oh, gotcha.
Persona 4's combat is a lot better than the... Oh, deny him steak?
No.
God, these... I think I'm going to deny it.
You probably didn't do a favor if it's like the steak bowl at Jack in the Box. You know, the teriyaki steak bowl, or they used to.
You eat a lot of fast food.
Yeah, well...
I mean, you're in college.
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like...
I think I ended it again.
I keep it diverse, though. I like to check out the expanses of fast food.
Yeah. Good for you.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I've gone through this twice, fast-forwarding through. Unfortunately, we kept dialogue up the whole time because God knows that it's hard to stay engaged in the story of this game. Because it's really just telling you a shoehorned-in worse version of what the actual games were already doing. So
Yeah.
this game story is not its strong suit. What I will try to do is go to the main menu until I get the song I really like.
Okay.
Oh, so here's that hip-hop one from
That's a good
Persona
one,
3,
yeah.
yeah. But unfortunately, this is not the one I wanted.
Do they have like a sound test mode?
Maybe they do. Maybe I could go to that.
That was an old convention.
That's another thing that fighting games like to do to clutter up the actual lack of diverse gameplay is to give you a lot of very slightly different gameplay.
Yeah.
Or lots of menu options, anyway. I do like this tune.
It's a good one. What was the point of the old sound test options? Like in old SNES games?
I think they're like, it's like gallery mode in theater in this option. Or in modern games like this one. It's to make you think there's more to do than there actually is.
Yeah, but like sometimes it was like literally sound effects. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like it was really strange. Although it did make for some fun like cheat codes though. If you entered in like a certain order, some games did that.
Yeah. I don't think this is it. I thought there was one more song. Maybe I need to just see if this has we have a sound. It is a fighting
music
game.
reminds me of Gran Turismo.
Ah, Gran Turismo.
That like Japanese jazzy style, like this.
Yeah. Can I get an option? Do I have a sound? I can't believe how many.
Yeah, there's a sound option.
Really? Oh, I thought it was just an option though.
Sound of language. Oh.
I don't think I can just listen to stuff.
Oh. Well.
Training mode. What I'm gonna do is I can't believe there's this many main menu songs. Like they're all familiar songs, but I would have never remembered that there were this many if I wasn't trying to get a specific one. Yeah, we've gotten this one like 3 times.
Can you not get in the gallery mode? So
Maybe gallery mode has it. I mean, I can also just like
special artwork and music it says. So.
special artwork, but it's not special music. What do we have here? Story illustration. These are unlockables. I mean, like in fighting games, always have these giant unlockables,
Yeah.
and I think they suck. I think it's just I don't like these. There it is. This tune. This tune gets me.
Is this in P3?
It's in P4.
Oh, okay.
Most of these are in P4.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
These 2 tunes are my favorite P4 songs. I think "Heartbeat, Heartbreak," as well as "Your Affection." I've been instructed not to ever look up the lyrics to these songs because apparently they're a little too interesting.
Well,
they do a lot of mixed English, which is fine. Like I
yeah,
said,
I've noticed that.
again, it's a cultural thing, but like apparently, like some of the lyrics just make so little sense. It's scary.
Yeah, Yeah, P3 is really weird about that. Like it does, like the songs I always think they're singing in English and they stop again, and I just have to kind of like.
This is the tune I really like.
This is a good one.
Yeah. It's passion. Old man dancing. Interesting factoid. There are some really good Persona. After you finish 3 and 4, we should get online. Spend a day watching blurry but still awesome YouTube full concerts featuring nothing but Persona 3 music.
Nice.
Or Persona 3 and 4 music. Well, I think that's where we've milked this cow about as much as can be done.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what this is. I'm just going to click options while you... So last thoughts on this ridiculous nonsense. The game, look at this, I can move it around. This is just like a stupid fighting game feature. So now we're getting real creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at... this is her turning into a superhero. Chie, away! It's like a it's like a...
Yeah.
Good GIF. All right, I'm done. So as we exit out of I don't know what I clicked. As we exit out of this game, it's a good game. It's a good fighting game. I don't even like fighting games, but I didn't know this was a story. I don't want to watch this. It's a good fighting game, even for somebody who's not really into fighting games as much as I used to be.
Yeah.
And who is definitely terrible compared to like the fighting game scene. The guys who like own joysticks and stuff.
Yeah.
But it is good, and Persona 3 and 4 are great games. So anything pretentious you have before we go?
I don't know. Like,
what can we say about this that's pretentious? It has to be something cross-cultural. How do you feel about globalization in general, in the abstract?
That's a heavy question.
That is a heavy question. That's why I asked. This is pretentious.
Yeah,
this isn't. We're not just giggling and narrating here. This is. It's a loaded question for a reason.
I think it's impressive that this series succeeds in America like it does, because it does. I mean, they didn't do a whole lot to localize it. Like, it's pretty purely Japanese.
It very much is, and
I guess because it's so rooted in like the school.
I think that's one of the failings of the story mode of this game is you can't sort of half port a game. Like they're either going to just port it over and have to translate all that.
Yeah.
Where you don't really mind in Japan and we mind here because we don't like reading.
No.
America. All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Sayonara. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Yeah, sayonara is my bad Japanese accent version. But that's the
Hasta la vista.
As they say in Japan, aloha.
Aloha.